Hey, Facebook Live. All right, cool. So
These issues, so slightly to your right.
Oh, that's gonna mess up the Facebook Live. No, just
Scoot over more. One more big step, and then come out 6 inches. Yep. Now take one step backwards, I guess. And
perfect. Make check 1, 2, 1, 2.
You got me? Got my vocals?
You gotta do the whole time. Here we go.
all right, all right, good to go. And you can come on in, and just have a seat, and just we're good at this. All right, here we go.
30. So, welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. We're here with Hamilton Perkins of the Hamilton Perkins Collection. Hamilton.
Thanks for having me, Zach.
Absolutely. You have a very unique product that you've been working on for a long time. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration of building the Hamilton Perkins line.
So Hamilton Perkins Collection is all about making bags out of recycled plastic bottles. Each bag is lined with repurposed billboards, and that makes each bag different and unique. What we're doing is we're sourcing recycled plastic bottles from the developing world, and we're selling them direct to consumer here, and it's made right here in the U.S.
Love it. You got the product. You had the product out for a little while, but you got a lot of traction recently on crowdfunding with Kickstarter. You're able to raise how many thousands of dollars?
About $25,000.
$25,000. Kickstarter said this is a project that we like. Tell me a little bit about how that kind of process went down, how you decided crowdfunding was the right fit, and setting it all up and getting that out there.
It really started with the personal network, right? You know, friends, family, colleagues. I basically, gave everybody a heads up that this was something that was going to go live, and it was really important to get the momentum that we needed. We really had a $10,000 goal in the beginning, so we hit that goal in the first 6 days. It had significant traffic, so Kickstarter saw that, and a lot of other factors that came in, but eventually we did get the project we love stamp, and that helped us out a ton.
How did you decide 10K was the number that you wanted?
So it's the setup cost. Setting up a new design for a fashion bag is basically goes back to you've got to have a pattern, you've got to have design, you've got to have setup, materials, and inputs. So what we wanted to do was try to basically see if our customers, which had basically designed our products with us, would be interested. And crowdfunding was the best way to really get that message across to the consumers.
Another thing with Kickstarter that I thought was interesting is it seemed like every time I went to your Facebook page, you had a new piece of press on someone featuring it. How did you figure out what press would be good? How did you reach out to them? Did you have that lined up, or what did that whole kind of scenario look like?
Well, after I got done talking to my personal network and really doing a lot of one-to-one outreach, I ended up kind of sharing that story, with some of the press. And I said, well, why don't I try to find similar stories and see how we might fit within kind of a long-term strategy for whatever they had going on at that point in time. And I also looked at where our audience was kind of responding the most to, and that's kind of how I made my pitch. So it turned out really successful.
You're a big data guy, I know that.
Yes.
So you're talking about your audience saying this or doing that. What type of actual metrics are you tracking in those scenarios to give you kind of real reasons behind that?
Yeah, when I look at the campaign in retrospect and kind of look through the Google Analytics data, we saw that Facebook was a huge driver for us. Instagram was another one, and LinkedIn as well. And I think, acting in a native way as a brand on the right platform and having the right message was something that, that helped us get momentum and success that, allowed us to basically be where we are now, and we can have our own e-commerce store.
And by native, you mean using the platform for the way it was built, right?
Exactly.
So don't just...
Respect for the users of that platform. 1 billion users or more on Facebook, 100 million on Snapchat. You have to kind of interact on those platforms in a way that is respectful for the community, and it'll do good by you.
And not everyone does that, right? I mean, so many people will link all their accounts together, they'll push it out, and if you're following 6 of those accounts, you're seeing all the same messaging. You're like, well, I mean, mean, this platform wasn't built that way. Sometimes even images don't match the same way that they should, and so it really is good to be native. Tell me about the bags. Let's go through the bags.
So we definitely wanted to come up with an innovative design, and one thing that we heard after interviewing roughly 1,000 people was easier access was something that was very tangible for them. So we ended up coming up with a 3-way zipper system, so you can easily get into your personal items while you're traveling. This also fits a 15-inch laptop in a sleeve here. So keep in mind, this is all made out of recycled plastic bottles. The inside,
everything is recycled.
Everything is made out of recycled plastic bottles. The inside is made out of repurposed billboard vinyl. So that's going to make each bag different, each bag unique. So there's a bit of a discovery process for the consumer. And then the last kind of function on here that really gets a lot of attention is the fact that this is a convertible bag. You can easily kind of unhook this, tuck it away, and then you're gone with duffel only. So this is our kind of premium bag. It's a premium Earth bag at retail at $295, and then here is our Earth bag light, and this one retails at $95.
Awesome. You talked to 1,000 customers for your customer discovery. How did that work? Did you on the phone, in person, surveys? What did you do for that?
All of the above. Anyone that was really basically someone in my personal network or a social media follower, I reached out. I had access to a conference room. I did a lot of entertaining, Post-its. I actually came across an old photo with a bunch of Post-its and scribbled, and I just said, gosh, that looks terrible. But, we actually came up with a great idea and a great product in the end.
How did you curate those people? So a lot of times people will say that you talked to 1,000 people, but they weren't 1,000 of your customers. How did you understand that what they were saying was something that would turn into revenue?
So, I guess the big e-commerce giant, right, is going to be Amazon. When we think about the reviews and the data that's there, there's a lot of wealth of just ideas in the 1, 2, and 3-star reviews. So a lot of times we would get our customers feedback that they could point us to specific instances in their travel experience where the bag had failed them, or they just couldn't get into the bag easily, and we iterated on that with kind of a design thinking process. In the end, there were themes. One theme was, duffel bags are really popular, but backpacks are really more kind of suitable at this time. And we didn't really want to separate those two themes, those two ideas. So we actually just kept both ideas, and that's how we came up with the convertible bag.
I love the idea of taking someone else's products and 2 or 3 stars, learning from that and making that better. How did you come up with the idea of that and really understand what you could do to make that better?
So my background with the internet isn't really, I'm still getting used to all the forums, the Reddits, the Quoras, and seeing the communities that are out there that you can engage in. But I think basically just doing more research was how I found that would be a good way. It's nothing like when a person's really upset that they're going to be really serious and they're going to give you the feedback that you want.
Sure.
Whereas if you ask someone on the spot, they may give you good data, but there might be some nuances to it that aren't being discovered until you keep asking why. You may have to ask why 3, 4, 5 times before you actually get to the root
Sure.
of what it is. So, we want it to be something, we want to do something different. A lot of companies do small design teams and they put out a product which is great for a lot of people. We just wanted to kind of reverse that and say, let's bring in a lot of people and make something for even more people.
Love it, Hamilton. Great
So,
job.
thank you so
I think
much.
we should, go on a trip or something. So let's go.
Let's do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There we go.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Very nice.